when COVID hit, right, March 12th, March 13th of last year, we got pretty much everybody we could in our conference room in our old office and said,
Okay.
all right, guys, we need to put a task force together. We're going to put a tenant
Task force.
Task
Right.
force, right? It sounded cool, but all right, who's on the task force? Whatever your job was, if you're an acquisitions guy, construction management guy, or gal, you're going to be on the task force, right? You have a new job, right? Because things aren't going to be normal for a while, right? So we took our 850 tenants and cut it up into 20 slices and said, here's your 40 tenants. Just start calling them, start talking to them, talk to them every day. Are you open? What's going on in St. Louis? What's going on in Arizona? What's going on in your part of the market? Like,
Okay. All right.
Are people coming in? Are people not coming in? Are you scared? Like, we didn't have any answers. We just started, we had a relationship with the tenants, but we're like, let's start building on these relationships, because this could get crazy. We have no idea what's happening, how long it's going to go.
Yeah.
So that was our kind of our first initiative with we ended up calling it the tenant pulse
Support. So really it was just like, I want to stay in communication and support you. That was step one.
Exactly. Yeah,
Versus
so
sending, demand letters.
Yeah, that was step one.
Rents too.
And it was mid-month, so most tenants had already paid their rent for March. So it's not like we were calling for rent. We were just saying, hey, how's it going? And then that morphed into, remember in mid-March, like, all right, this thing will be over in June. We'll be back, right? Everything will be normal again, right? So we didn't really, we didn't really start having the rent conversations right away. But slowly April started approaching and this thing wasn't getting any better, it was getting worse. So, the next step was, let's just tell tenants, hey, your rent bill's coming due, just pay what you can. If your rent's 10 grand a month, can you pay half of it? Nothing was formalized. Just say, like, pay something. I know things are different. We're going to figure something out in the long run, but just pay what you can. So that was kind of our next. Then the next step after that was, we thought we were going to do a big deferral program and say, okay, tenants, you can all the rent you didn't pay in Q2, you can pay off over the next year, right? We thought this big deferral program was going to be great. But right before we rolled out the deferral program, we realized that wasn't going to be enough relief for our tenants, right? That no one wanted to take on, paying double for 12 months because things weren't getting better, right? We had no end in sight. So a group of us on the senior management team, including myself, visited a bunch of our assets in July, kind of fast forwarding a little bit to July of last year, and met with as many tenants as we could and said, okay, what's meaningful to you? What kind of relief do you need? What do you need to get your business, back on track? Or how can you weather the storm until things get back to normal? So, we implemented a couple programs from that. One was like a personal PPE, a PPE stipend for some tenants, or
I was going to say, all the while, we were providing our tenants with resources, support. We had one of our tenants in the portfolio had access to PPE equipment, so we were really doing the full circle bear hug around our tenants to provide them with things that they might need and have access to. Lots of that was going on, when the PPP stuff was just coming out. We wanted to be on, like, do you need financial consultation? Do you need help putting making your application? Really trying to help our tenants in whatever way that we could to support them. And the ones that were responsive and communicating with us and, not like taking our calls, we took this partnership approach with them, because for us, it was less about collecting short-term rent and more about long-term preservation of our investors' capital.
Yeah, we just wanted them to be.
Means the investors need to be successful. Or not investors, the tenants.
Yeah, we needed them to be tenants when COVID was over. That was the priority, not paying us rent for a couple months. So after those kind of property visits, talking to tenants, we implemented a program for our most affected tenants, which we ended up doing this for 100 of our 800 tenants. We amended their lease. We gave them a few months of free rent for COVID. We gave them a 9-month rent reduction to kind of weather the storm, in exchange for adding term on the back of their lease, right? So the idea was, we'll give you some short-term relief because our bank's okay with this. We're going to take less right now for the long run to add term to your lease because we believe in your business. We want you to get to the end of COVID, whenever that end is, and be a viable. So
did the banks do the same thing for you?
We didn't have to. That large loan facility we had, they didn't have to, forgive any. We never missed a payment, right? We collected enough rent to maintain loan payments. Our bank worked with us in the sense that, it waived some potential, a couple potential covenant trips, right? Like our portfolio has to stay 80% occupied. Well, if half our tenants we weren't 80% occupied, but
During,
no.
during COVID, if a banker called me and he said the word covenants, I would just be like, what do you?
Yeah. So we have a great relationship with our bankers. So they were, they were great. We
Okay,
wanted to
good.
partners with our tenants, and we did that program, and I think it got us a lot of a lot of credibility with our tenants, right? If one of our tenants is like, I can move down the street for $1 less per square foot, but Baceline got me through a pandemic, they might stick around longer because who knows what the deal is with the guy down the street, right?